So just reminded me one other quick question, because I know some parents do this. They only do maybe for a problem set. They'll say, okay, we're only going to do the even problems today, or we're only going to do the odd problems today. They think for some reason the whole lesson set is too much. You would strongly advise against that, correct? Don't do
Yes, I would strongly advise against
that.
that.
Now, I
You
think the
wouldn't be
worry
getting
is,
all the practice that you needed. You know, you wouldn't be getting all the practice that you needed. And one thing that we briefly talked about when we had a little phone conversation is the importance of a foundation.
mm-hmm.
And that math itself, the subject itself builds on itself. So every idea in math is built on a preceding idea or concept. And so the whole math structure just kind of rests on itself. But that's true about learning math too. So as you're learning it based on what you have learned before. So an analogy would be like a skyscraper. The taller the building, if you go to a construction site and you see a skyscraper about to be built, the taller the building is going to be, the bigger the foundation is required.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really important to get a good solid foundation. K through 8, a really solid foundation. And so skipping some lessons, skipping some review sets, skipping some problems in the review set, skipping some books, you're pretty much assuring that your foundation isn't going to be as dense, as solid, as large as it should be to hold what's going to be built on top of it. It's not just that, oh, my kid understands that concept and now we can move on. You want them to know it cold. Overlearning is good. There are plenty of things that will challenge them later. And if you can get them fast enough, then they can get through those review sets in maybe 30 to 45 minutes. It's not that long. It's not that much time. And it will really pay them benefits later. Just build the strongest, solidest, densest foundation you can for these kids.
Yes, it's so important. I think maybe some parents have concerns that can they really get through the entire textbook in 1 year? And we're supposed to be doing it 6 days a week, year round, even without summer school. That's what Dr. Robinson recommends. So how long do you think it takes to go through an entire book doing all of the things that you mentioned?
Yes, and so what I didn't mention is mental math and problem solving, and those things will appear in some of the later editions. And I think they're worthwhile, but I'm not saying that they're the essentials. It's good to do them, but it's not essential. We have a special ed teacher who created intervention materials. She had a pull-out program with her kids, and using those intervention materials, she could go through every exercise in the book and get through 2 books in 1 school year.
Wow, really?
So
2?
she could get the kids who were a few years behind, she could get them caught up, special ed kids, get them caught up with the regular ed students. Now, I'm not saying you should go through 2 books a year. I think 1 book a year is fine, but there shouldn't be a problem. And if you don't start the kids too early, if you start them when they're really ready, then it shouldn't be a problem for them to get through 1 book a year.
Yes.
Some will go faster than that. Some might need to go slower, but learning it well is more important than going fast.